So the animals, the insects are all highly, highly concerned because there's a mad rush of sharks in a furious feeding frenzy at the foot of the peach. The insects and James are all poised on top, looking down in horror, wondering what will happen to their peachy craft. They turn to James, asking for ideas. And here we are, chapter 20. There is something that I believe we might try, James Henry Trotter said slowly. I'm not saying it'll work. Tell us, cried the earthworm. Tell us quick. We'll try anything you say, said the centipede. But hurry, hurry, hurry. Be quiet and let the boys speak, said the ladybird. Go on, James. They all moved a little closer to him. There was a longish pause. Go on, they cried frantically. Go on. And all the while they were waiting, they could hear the sharks thrashing around in the water below them. It was enough to make anyone frantic. Come on, James, the ladybird said, coaxing him. I'm afraid it's no good at all, James murmured, shaking his head. I'm terribly sorry, I forgot. We don't have any string. We'll need hundreds of yards of string to make this work. Spider? What sort of string? Asked the old green grasshopper. Any sort, just so long as it's strong. But my dear boy, that's exactly what we do have. We've got all you want. How? Where? The silkworm, cried the old green grasshopper. Didn't you ever notice the silkworm? Oh, I was wrong. I thought it'd be the spider, but not the silkworm. Didn't you ever notice the silkworm? She's still downstairs. She never moves. She just lies there sleeping all day long. But we can easily wake her up and make her spin. But what about me, may I ask? Said Miss Spider. I can spin just as well as any silkworm. What's more, I can spin patterns. Can you make enough between you? Asked James. As much as you want. And quickly? Of course, of course. And would it be strong? The strongest there is. It's as thick as your finger. But why? What are you going to do? I'm going to lift this peach clear out of the water, James announced firmly. You're mad, cried the earthworm. It's our only chance. The boy's crazy. He's joking. Go on, James, the ladybird said gently. How are you going to do it? Skyhooks, I suppose, jeered the centipede. Seagulls, James answered calmly. The place is full of them. Look up there. They all looked up and saw a great mass of seagulls wheeling around and round in the sky. I'm going to make a long silk string, James went on, and I'm going to loop one end of it around a seagull's neck, and I'm going to tie the other end to the stem of the peach. He pointed to the peach stem, which was standing up like a short, thick mass in the middle of the deck. Then I'm going to get another seagull and do the same thing again, and then another, and then another. Ridiculous, they shouted. Absurd, poppycock, balderdash, madness. And the old green grasshopper said, how can a few seagulls lift up an enormous thing like this up in the air? And all of us as well. It would take hundreds, thousands. There is no shortage of seagulls, James answered. Look for yourself. We'll probably need 400, 500, 600, maybe even 1,000. I don't know. I shall simply go on hooking them up up to the stem until we have enough to lift us. They'll be bound to lift us in the end. It's like balloons. You give someone enough balloons to hold, and I mean really enough, then up he goes. And a seagull has far more lifting power than a balloon, if only we have the time to do it. If only we are not sunk first by those awful sharks. You're absolutely off your head, said the earthworm. How on earth do you propose to get a loop of string round a seagull's neck? I suppose you're going to fly up there yourself and catch it. The boy's dotty, said the centipede. Let him finish, said the ladybird. Go on, James. How would you do it? With bait. Bait? What sort of bait? With a worm, of course. Seagulls love worms. Didn't you know that? And luckily for us, we have the biggest, fattest, pinkest, juiciest earthworm in the world. You can stop right there, the earthworm said sharply. That's quite enough. Go on, the other said, beginning to grow interested. Go on. Once they've endangered their friends, now they're interested. The seagulls have already spotted him, James continued. That's why there's so many of them circling round. But they daren't come down to get us while the rest of us are standing here, so This is what... Stop! Cried the earthworm. Stop, stop, stop. I won't have it. I refuse. I... Be quiet, said the centipede. Mind your own business. I like that. My dear earthworm. So this is James, not the centipede. My dear earthworm, you're going to be eaten... Oh, sorry, this is centipede. My dear earthworm, you're going to be eaten anyway. So it's... I don't know if it's James or... Anyways, I think it's James. My dear earthworm, you're going to be eaten anyway. So what difference does it make whether it's sharks or seagulls? I won't do it. Why don't we hear what the plan is first, said the old green grasshopper. I don't give a hoot what the plan is, cried the earthworm. I am not going to be pecked to death by a bunch of seagulls. You'll be a martyr. That's someone who is willing to die to help others. You'll be a martyr, said the centipede. I shall respect you for the rest of my life. And so will I, said Miss Spider. And your name will be in the newspapers. Earthworm gives life to save friends. But he won't have to give his life, James told them. Now, listen to me. This is what we'll do. Why, it's absolutely brilliant, cried the old green grasshopper, when James had explained his plan. The boy's a genius, Centipede announced. Now, I can keep my boots on after all. Oh, I shall be pecked to death, wailed the poor earthworm. Oh, of course you won't. I will, I know I will, and I won't even be able to see them coming at me because I have no eyes. James went over and put an arm gently round the earthworm's shoulders. I won't let them touch you, he said. I promise I won't, but we've got to hurry. Look down there. There are more sharks than ever now around the beach. The water was boiling with them. There must have been 90 or 100 at least. And to the travelers up on top, it certainly seemed as though the beach were sinking lower and lower in the water. Action stations! James shouted. Jump to it! There's not a moment to lose! He was the captain now, and everyone knew it. They would do whatever he told them. All hands on below deck, all hands below deck, except the earthworm, he ordered. That means back into the beach. Yes, yes, they said eagerly as they scuttled into the tunnel entrance. Come on, let's hurry. And you, Centipede, James shouted. Hop downstairs and get that silkworm to work at once. Tell her to spin as she's never spun before. Our lives depend on it. And the same applies to you, Miss Spider. Hurry on down, start spinning.